Welcome back to the League of Hustlers. What are some of the top pieces of advice from actual founders and entrepreneurs that are starting up their businesses? Right? That's what we're going to talk about today. I'm your co host, HT,
I'm CD Barnes.
and this is, of course, Hustles, where we prepare to prosper, right? We share knowledge, we build wealth, all in the effort to help you prepare to prosper. Let's jump right into it. So, we ran across this article from Sky Nova, right? So they produced this infographic where they did a survey, surveying actual entrepreneurs, actual startup founders, asking them what are some of the best pieces of advice, right, for aspiring entrepreneurs. And jumping right into it, number one at the top of the list. Um, First up, learn from your mistakes. This is so important, right? So many times people run across issues, make mistakes and they don't learn from them, right? And they end up stopping, they end up getting off track, they end up not using those mistakes to as a stepping stone, right? To build on top of those mistakes, right? This is what it's all about, right? You look at Thomas Edison, they say he failed like thousands of times, like to the tune of like tens of thousands of times, right? And we know he had help from what's your guy's name? Lewis Latimer or something, something like that. But anyway, he failed so many times, but he learned each time, right? And he was quoted for saying, I didn't fail, 10,000 times. I learned 10,000 ways not to do it. So learn from your mistakes, right? Next up, what's that?
Yep. Next up, create a solid business plan. All right. You don't want to go into this or any venture for that matter, just kind of freestyling. All right.
Right.
And so if without the plan, you're going to find yourself repeating those mistakes from number one. You need a plan. You need to execute the plan. And it helps you identify the mistakes quickly, and it helps you to resolve those issues quickly as well. All right, if you lay out a solid plan, you can quickly identify bottlenecks, issues, things you can tweak, isolate where your issues may be coming from, correct those things, adjust the plan, and move forward. Simple as that. And by the way, right, the one-page business plan,
Oh,
definitely check that out. The
can't
business
forget
model
that.
canvas, we have an episode on that. It's the one-page business plan. Pick that up. You can stop by the website, leagueofhustlers.com, and get the free download.
Oh yeah, can't forget that. Next up is listen to your customers. Super duper important. I've worked with so many entrepreneurs just over the decades, and I would almost put this at number one, right? If people aren't buying your product, if people aren't paying for your service, you don't have a business. Plain and simple. You have a hobby, right? You have to listen to your customers. Your customers are going to tell you what you're getting right and what you're getting wrong, right? And I don't mean like friends and family, right? A lot of times, if you have a good support system, they'll try to build you up and they won't really tell you the holes, right? And the problems with whatever that you're selling. You want to listen to those actual customers, right? When someone says, I didn't like this, or they leave you a review and they're like, this was off, right? Listen to that, right? Don't just write them off as a hater, actually listen to that feedback. It's super duper critical that you listen to your customers.
Right. That is the gold right there. Your customer feedback. Next up, though, ensure there is a market for your product. And not only that, there is a market, but you can actually reach that market. All right.
Oh yeah.
You must be connected and attached to and capable of reaching your market, even being a part of that market in some capacity so that you can actually relate to those customers, so you can understand their problems and understand how to deliver your product or service even better. But the primary point, ensure there is a market for your product, right? For example, you may not be able to sell sand at the beach. There may not be a market for your product in that particular place. Sometimes it's just about positioning, but overall, you get the point. You must have a market for your product. Do people actually need this service? Do they want it? Do they actually need this product? Do they want it? All
Right.
right.
Yeah, next up is being passionate about your product. I ran into this recently, right? And I knew it, but you sometimes we get blinded by the potential, right? The potential money that you can make, the potential
Opportunity.
vibe of the business or the look, right? Ran across this recently, right? You have to be passionate about the product. I wasn't passionate about the product that I was selling, right? Start a new business, fell flat on its face. All right. To make a long story short. And that came from what I had to take some time, and I'm still going through it now, right? But just take some time to step back and really ask yourself, like, am I passionate about this business, right? And I say that, and I can identify with this because there are going to come times where it gets really tough, right? Any business, as any business owner, they'll tell you there are times when it gets really, really tough. And having that passion is going to allow you to make it through those tough times. You see what I'm saying? So make sure that you're passionate about the product, right? And you don't have to be, like head over heels or whatever, but you do have to have that burning desire and belief, right? That passion goes hand in hand with like that belief that whatever the product or service is going to be valuable for your customers. Like you really believe it and you're passionate
Right.
about it, right?
Yeah, that's a big one right there. Because at that point in time, no one has to motivate you
Right.
to actually do the steps, to execute the task, to execute what needs to occur in the business. Passion is a big one.
Oh yeah.
Next up, alter the product or service when necessary. This is key as well. And this goes back to all of the previous points, really. Listening to your customers, um, any feedback that you get from your customers that may suggest that you can alter your product or service in any way to better fit their needs, do it. All right. You want to basically cut out any resistance between your product and service and the customer. All right. Now, you won't be able to alter everything all the time, but when you can, make your product or service easier to consume, more accessible, more efficient, faster. Essentially, what you're doing is optimizing, you're perfecting your product delivery, your service delivery. Definitely want to do that when necessary. It's a key component to growth, making those changes.
Oh yeah. Next up is avoiding burnout. This is another real thing, right? A lot of times you even though you're passionate, even though you're doing something that's in line with your purpose, even though you believe in it, you can get burnt out. Okay. Burnout is a real thing. Take time for yourself, right? Take a vacation, right? If not, just take a day, right? Go to the spa, go to the woods or something, go on a hike, work out, right? That's another big one. Make sure you exercise. Make sure you take time for your mental well-being and your physical well-being. All right?
Right.
That's super important so that you can come back refreshed, rejuvenated,
Recharge.
and ready to hit the ground running.
Yep. Take a nap if you have to. Set goals that align with your business vision. All right. Again, this goes back to that creating a solid business plan. All right. So you want to make sure you're setting goals. Again, we have a smart goal template. If you actually just need to go to the site right now and
Yep,
get the entire startup kit. It includes the business model canvas, it includes the smart goal template, right? And these
yep.
things are going to help put you on the path. But your business plan and everything that you're doing on your day, all of your tasks, everything you're doing on a day to day needs to be goal oriented,
Right.
right? So you want to have a goal for your business and you want to make sure that you're taking the steps that are getting you closer to that goal. Set smart goals. Again, make sure you go download the startup kit. It's free. You get the business model canvas and a couple other great downloads in there as well.
Oh yeah. Next up is focusing on your core product before you start expanding, right? I know we want to build this big empire, right? But it starts with one brick, right? You're building a house, you got to lay one brick at a time. You know what I mean? So don't try to take on all these different services that you can offer and all these different product lines. Focus on one at a time. Build that one up. Once you get processes and you're able to automate that, then you can expand out into the other arenas and
All
products.
right. Network prior to launching your startup. All right. And so this is all about positioning, which is really it's huge when it comes to being successful in business. So you want to position yourself, you want to network with your potential clients, potential customers, let them know what's potentially coming their way, start getting that feedback before you even launch your product or service. You can network with potential business partners, other complementary businesses that could potentially send customers your way, or where their product or service could complement your product and service, or vice versa. The more people like that you have in your circle, the better framework and support you have to actually support your business when you actually launch.
Yep. And lastly, but not least, get legal advice, right? Get legal advice. Yes, it can be expensive, but I would admonish you to think about the future, right? And think about, 3, 5, 10 years down the road, right? Make sure you set yourself up for success, right? So getting that legal advice early to address any issues that may come up in the future could save you thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. All right. And that's it for this episode, folks. So as always, hit us up at questions at leagueofhustlers.com. All right. And follow us on social. Hit that like button too, man. And share this video. We're all about sharing knowledge, building wealth, and helping you prepare to prosper. All right. Till next time, let's get it. Let's go. And follow for more.